Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Weekly Wildcat. My name is Brian Kice. I'm joined by Maddie to my left, and our guest for today on my right, Maizri Chandler. Maizri, welcome to the Wildcat Weekly, our first episode, our first guest. Welcome. It's so great to have you here. So we'll dive right in. First question is, obviously, what is your name? What is your year? Just give us the whole rundown.
Maizri Chandler. I'm a senior this year. Attacker, sometimes midfield. Is there another question?
That's it. That's awesome. So you've been here for a while, right?
Yes.
All 4 years at Linfield. Talk a little bit about your experience just at Linfield in general.
Yeah, I loved my experience at Linfield ever since I came on my visit. I actually came here like my sophomore year because I had a friend whose older sibling came here. So I just loved the campus. I thought it was so beautiful. I've loved the close-knit community, being able to prioritize my academics and my athletics as well, and just build a lot of connections in my personal life, athletics, school, all of it. So it's just been really great. I've made a lot of good friends.
That's awesome, Maizri. Thanks for answering that question. Maddie, you have another one for her. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so what about your sport is unique and just like in general and especially to yourself?
I feel like lacrosse is a really unique sport. A lot of people they hear about it and they're like, "Is that the sport with the stick and the net and the ball?" Like people don't really know exactly what it is. But I think it's a really awesome sport. It's really big on the East Coast, and so it's been growing on the West Coast. It's been really cool to see that from when I started playing in second grade to till now, and seeing the youth programs build up and the high school programs build up, and just more people playing collegiately out of Oregon and Washington has been really cool. I think something that's also really unique about lacrosse that a lot of people don't know is that it actually started as it was a Native American sport. So long ago they started it and they would use it. They saw it as a gift from their creator, and they would play it as kind of a healing medicine game. And they would different tribes would play a game of lacrosse to kind of settle disputes and stuff like that. So it has a lot of rich history that I always want to give credit back to. It's a really special sacred thing, and so I think it just makes it really special when we're playing, and something as a leader that I like to really preach to my team is just respecting the game, respecting yourself, your teammate. It's a really special game to play, and I'm just really happy to be out there, and so it's a really special sport.
Talk about the growth of the sport. You guys have gone cross country to play a couple games last season. Talk about if you can tell the difference between the game out here and how it's growing versus the way that it's kind of blown up on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's on the East Coast, you go there, it's everybody plays it. Everyone's been playing since kindergarten. It's so big. The D3 schools out there are way higher level than the D3 schools out here. But going to North Carolina last year when we played, we did come out even. We got 1 win, 1 loss. So that was cool. But a lot of their teams back there, they're just a lot more faster paced, and they have a lot bigger rosters too, which is something that we've seen in the Northwest Conference this year. A lot of people have really small rosters, but you go out there and they've got rosters of 20 to 30 girls, and they've all been playing since kindergarten, and they're really fast, and we're catching up. We're doing good out here, so it's exciting to see the growth on the West Coast as well.
Maddie, do you have another question for her?
Yeah, so what about your position is important, and what is kind of your role out there on the field?
So I'm a low attacker, so I'm kind of posted up down by the crease. Funny enough, I write with my right hand, but I'm whatever kind of ambidextrous you are. When I write with my right hand, but I play lacrosse with my left hand. So I'm always posted up on the left side, down low. So my role is doing a lot of setting up the plays and calling the plays because I can see kind of everything that's going on in front, and a lot of assists. So a lot of feeds to the middle, and my teammates will be cutting through. I get a lot of feeds. Last year I actually think I was almost half and half with my goals and my assists. So I do a lot of passing and kind of setting up my teammates.
Talk about being a leader and kind of setting up plays. And you are exactly that. You're captain this season. What does that mean for you to be able to lead this group and work with the coaches so closely to get to the mountaintop?
Yeah, it's been definitely like a long ride. Like this is for the senior class, this will be our third coach that we've had. And starting my freshman year having like a 3-14 record or something till last year, making it to the conference tournament, till this year having a new coach and almost a brand new team. It's just been really important to focus on building that new chemistry with the girls and welcoming our new teammates in and trying to get them kind of coordinated with our new flow of play and finding a new style, because we also graduated out a lot of seniors. So it's just been a lot of trying to just kind of find our new pace, our new flow, and making sure that everybody feels like welcome and included and like they can have a space to be set up for success by their teammates.
Awesome. Maddie, go for it.
And what does kind of being an athlete at Linfield mean to you? Like, how special is that kind of label for you?
I love being a student athlete at Linfield. It's really special to me. I think Linfield is just such an amazing school, and we have such an amazing like culture of athletics and like excellence here, on and off the field. I feel like the athlete community is also really close. I don't know the exact statistics, but what is it, like 50% of our students are athletes?
Just about that,
Yeah.
probably even more, really.
Yeah. So it's like, it's really cool. That's just kind of the culture that we have here, and that there's so many athletes and students, and professors are really supportive and understanding. And we all kind of support each other and go to each other's games, and like just very connected. Like I have a lot of best friends on the softball team. My boyfriend played football here, and so I've just made a lot of good friends and connections, and it's been really awesome.
Talk about the friends and the connections. I know that you've played with a couple of your teammates currently for a long time. What does that mean for you to be able to probably know a lot of the players that you're now playing with, and certainly against, but be able to play with a couple of them who you played with for a while?
Yeah, that's been really fun. Tenley, our goalie, I played with her in high school, so that was really fun to be able to come here and kind of like go through the recruiting process and come to the prospect camps together and everything. My other teammate, Gabby, I played club with her in middle school and high school, so that's been really fun. And just the lacrosse community is small in Oregon, so I know people on almost every team we play, which is really fun. And it's super cool because I ref high school, and so I feel like everywhere I go, I see somebody that I know or I play with or I have some sort of connection with, which is really cool.
Maddie, your turn.
And with being here for 4 years and having all that experience, what are some of your like favorite memories from just being with the team throughout this whole time?
It's been really fun. I think something really like special about having such a small roster is that we've been really, really close. The senior class, there's 6 of us. We came in with 8, so there's 6 of us now, but we've really been together for the last 4 years. We've been through a lot together. And so, yeah, it's just been really great.
All right, Maze, last question here. You talked about being a senior. Do you have any plans post grad for what what are you getting into on off of the lacrosse field?
Yeah, so I'm graduating with my bachelor's in public health. I've been looking at a lot of jobs and internships. I'm going to stay around in the Portland area and start applying to grad school in the next year or so, either for nursing or for public health. I'm really passionate about women's healthcare and environmental health, so I'm hoping to hopefully get some interviews here soon. But yeah, that's my plan. Hopefully maybe get into coaching or continue reffing. That's it for me right now.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on. That's going to do it for Maizri Chandler, our first guest here on the Weekly Wildcat. We'll have some more for you here in the near future. But Maizri, you're good to go. Thanks so much again. We'll see you next time. That'll wrap things up on this segment of our first episode of the Weekly Wildcat. We'll be right back with more. Awesome to have Maizri Chandler on our first episode of the Wildcat Weekly. Back here, Maddie and I going to wrap things up here for you this afternoon. as we dive into the recap from last week's games across the Linfield campus. To start things, Maddie, men's golf at the Willamette Valley Cup, second straight team title by 2 strokes there, as Kellen Hudson, 65 strokes, claims some medal honors in that one. Good for him to have that. He's been a pleasant surprise for the men's golf team this season, and they're really making some noise in the Northwest Conference so far. Good to see them do their thing.
Yeah, and especially with the women's golf team also competing within the same cup. 9th as Braylee Garcia, finishing 26th individually and also showing up there too as well.
Track, Rich Allen Classic in Newburgh at George Fox. Men's 4x400 relay, season best 3 minutes, 25 seconds and 93 milliseconds. Those milliseconds do really matter, Maddie, especially on the track side of things. Tyson Kachulia, personal best, 138 feet for him on the hammer throw. It's quite the distance, as track is coming to compete this season as well. A lot of these Linfield spring sports are making some noise and surprising a lot of people.
And speaking of competing, men's tennis won 6-1 versus Puget Sound. A great win for them. And unfortunately, women's tennis lost 7-0 versus Puget Sound, but looking to get back at it as they continue their run.
We'll touch on those every episode as well as the rest of the year. But on the softball and baseball side of things, the Diamonds are being kind to both of the Wildcat programs. Softball doubleheader sweep versus Willamette this past weekend as 8-0 in the first game. McKenna Parmalee 1 for 3 with a couple of RBI in that one. Tyler McGilly, household name, doing what she does best. 5 shutout innings in that 8-0 win. 2 hits, 6 strikeouts in her 3rd shutout of the year. She improves to 4-0 this season and following up her All-American season from a season ago. No surprises there, Maddie.
Yeah, I mean, softball continuing to kill it out here at Linfield, continuing to make their name, staying on those polls, and really showing what they can do.
Speaking of making names, in that second game of that doubleheader on Saturday, Destiny Cornwall, 3 hits and a walk for her in that one, as the Wildcats really are finding their stride with a younger group on the softball field, and it's great to see there as well. Lacrosse, on the other hand, a sport you're pretty familiar with as their broadcaster. Great to have you on our broadcast network as well. Lacrosse 13-2 win against PLU in Washington last weekend, as Apple Riso 4 goals for her, as well as Maizri Chandler, our guest, 2 goals and an assist for her. She was talking about doing it on both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively, and she's doing a great job there. Case in point in that 13-2 win, Maddie. And Tenley Hodge, 5 saves for her, always the backbone and the wall for that team. On the baseball diamond, a sweep versus Pacific for the first time since 2017 this past weekend, Maddie. It was great for that team and great to watch that unfold. I was in the booth for those games, but that first game, Zach Hampson 4-0, or 4-0 now. He improves to 4-0 with that win. Jackson Kister going 1 for 5 with a couple of RBIs as the Wildcats win 6-5 on a Josh Manser walk-off win in Game 1. Handled business 4-1 in Game 2. Sweep the Saturday. And then on the back end on Sunday, get it done by a score of 6-3. That's your recap from last weekend. We'll be right back to preview and wrap up the show right after this on the Weekly Wildcat. On to our final segment of today's episode. We're going to preview some of the games that are happening this coming week. Baseball has played their series against the number 1 team in the country, Denison, as lacrosse has had some games. Track and field has had a nice meet down there in Corvallis at the PNW Invitational this past weekend. But coming up this week, Maddie, as we will take a look at some of the things happening in the next couple of days. On the 26th of March, lacrosse is at Occidental, playing the Occidental Tigers in Los Angeles. And on the 27th of March, we will have baseball back here in McMinnville as the Wildcats will face off at Roy Helzer Field against La Tourneau in a 3-game series. So that'll happen on the 27th and 28th. And on the 20th, track and field is at Pacific in Forest Grove for another tournament. Men's tennis will be at Whitman in Walla Walla, Washington. Softball will be up at Whitworth in Spokane, Washington. And then baseball wraps up their series against La Tourneau on Sunday, the 28th. A lot of good games happening in the next couple of days here, Maddie. Going to be a great thing to keep an eye on over the next couple of weeks, and certainly the rest of the season. We'll wrap things up here on today's episode, but like always, we will talk about all of the sports here at Linfield in this beautiful spring season as we approach the month of April. Thanks for joining us here on our first episode of the Weekly Wildcat. I want to send a huge shout out to our cameraman making everything work behind the scenes, Cade Welch. We'll see him in this seat in a couple of episodes as well. Maddie Funk, great to have you as our co-host. My name is Brian Kice, executive producer and host of the Weekly Wildcat. We'll see you next time from McMinnville.